fourth graders, it is time to get sciencey with Miss Gurley. This is our first lesson of the fourth grade. Are we excited? Cool, because I'm very excited. Today, our scientific question of knowledge is, how does height affect an object's energy? So, there's a couple words in this sentence that I want us to really think about. But while we're thinking, turn your science brains on. And I want you to write on a piece of paper. I want you to make your paper look just like my paper. My paper has the question at the top. It says the word predict. It's got a table. It says interpret and conclude. We're going to go over everything on this paper. But I want to make sure you have everything written down in your scientific journal so that you can follow along with me. We're going to fill this out. We're going to do a science experiment that I will teach you how you can do at home while we're online learning. And then we're going to learn some science. So, grab a paper in your scientific journal, grab something to write with, and let's get started. All right, the first word I want you to look at in our scientific question of knowledge. Let's read it again. How does height affect an object's energy? First, I want us to look at the word height. I want you to underline that. Height. H-E-I-G-H-T. Height. What is height? Think about that in your science brain for me. Think about it. Think about it. Is it how long something is? Is it this way? Is it how diagonal something is? Maybe how round something is? No. Height is how tall something is. So from top to bottom, from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, how tall are you? So, science with Miss Gurley, I am 5'6". This is a meter stick. A meter is 100 centimeters and about 39 inches. Doesn't matter what direction, but we are worried about the up and down direction. Remember that. We are worried about the height of something and how it affects an object's energy. So remember, height, up and down of something. Next, how it has an effect on an object's energy. What do you think the word's gonna be that we underline? Bingo, energy. Energy, underline that for me on your paper. Energy, E-N-E-R-G-Y. Energy. There's tons of different types of energy that we are going to talk about over the next few days. So this is our first introduction to this word, energy. Repeat it, energy. Got it? Energy. Do it with your hands, energy. Fabulous. Okay, so energy is going to be the force in which something moves or something heats up. Energy is this force. It's an invisible force on something. So we're going to see if height of something, the up and down of something, if I make something taller, will it go slower? Will it go faster? If I make something shorter, will the object go slower? Will it go faster? We're going to talk about energy of movement today. We are going to make a ramp and we are going to push a ball down it, and we're going to push that ball down the ramp, and we'll see if the ramp is higher. Will the ball go faster? Will it go? If the ball goes faster this way, if it's higher, will it go faster? If it's lower, will it go faster? Will it go farther? We're going to talk about distance today. So, predict is going to be the next word. Now we have annotated our scientific question of knowledge. You're going to look at that word predict. Predict, that means we are going to look into the future. Take your brains. We're going to look into the future. What do we think? How does height affect an object's energy? Do we think the taller something goes, the faster it goes? Or the taller something goes, the slower it goes? Maybe the shorter something is, the faster it goes. The shorter something is, the smaller it goes. I want you to predict on your paper. Your prediction does not need to be the same as mine. We have two different science brains. Your science brain may think something different than my science brain. I'm going to predict that the taller a ramp, the faster the ball will roll. First of all, if you didn't hear it, my scientific prediction, is the taller a ramp, the faster the ball will roll. All right, now I'm going to give you a minute to write down your prediction. Then we'll move on to my fancy smancy table of science. All right, now you've written your prediction. It can be the same as mine. It can be different of mine. Again, we have different science brains, so we got to keep that in mind here. Now, this is our table of scientific observations. What is that word I just said? Observations. What do we think observations are? Think about it in your science brain. I'll wait. Okay, I'm done waiting. Observations. Observations are things that we observe with our eyes. Our science eyes are going to look at the world. You observe the world around you every single day. So we're going to observe our experiment. So your table here should have 6 boxes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 9, 10. No, just 6. You just need 6 boxes. This columns are this way, rows are this way. We'll cover that later. Column should be labeled height. Height, where have we seen that word before? It's over here somewhere. I've seen it. I found it. Height. The height of something. Oh, it's on here twice. Miss Gurley, are they related to the height? We're going to talk about the height of what? And time. The time of what? We're going to get there. But I want to make sure that you have this table written on your paper. The height of something. The height of what? Maybe it's that ramp we talked about. Maybe it's the ball. The height of the ball? I don't know. We'll get there. The time. We're going to get there. Don't worry about it. I want to just make sure you have this table on your paper. That says height. That says time. Let's go experiment. All right. So now we are ready to conduct our experiment. Are we ready? We have our scientific question of knowledge. We have our prediction of what we used in our brain. We looked into the future and we said, I think that this is what's going to happen. To remind you, my prediction is the taller a ramp, the faster the ball will go, or the ball will roll. I have my scientific table of science, and we will get to this bottom part. Do not look at this yet. I'm not going to look at it yet. You don't see it. You're blind. Shh. Good. All right, so some materials you may have in your own home so you can follow along with me. I would love if you would do this experiment at home, but I understand if we can't. All you gotta do is watch me do it and you'll understand exactly what science you can do. So, the materials you need, a bunch of books. They can be differing books, they can be books of different thickness, they can be super thick Harry Potter books or phone books, or they can be super thin, I have Junie B. Jones books. Doesn't matter what you need, you just need a bunch of them so you can make drastically different heights of ramps. Now, you're also going to need a writing utensil of science. So what do we need this for? What would I need a marker for? Is it to draw on myself? Is it to color the ramp? What is it for? You're right, I have to write on this. And who remembers the word that we used to, what are we going to record here? Started with an O. Are octagons? No. Are octopuses? No. Observations. Yes. Our observations are what we're going to put on this table. With something we see with our eyes. Whatever all this stuff does all together, we're going to observe it and we're going to put it on our scientific table of science. Awesome. So you need something to write with. Then you need a ball. It could be a golf ball. I'm not even sure. You can do a ping pong ball, golf ball, a baseball. It could be big, it could be small. I would suggest smaller than a basketball, but bigger than a marble. But you probably could use a marble. Maybe use a marble. We'll get to that. I'm going to use a ball about this size. It looks like those balls that you have on those little paddles. You're going to need tape. Any kind of tape will do. I have masking tape. You can have painter's tape, duct tape, any kind of tape. Doesn't matter. You are going to need some kind of ramp. So I have a piece of wood that can be my ramp. What I would suggest in your own home is you can get a really long book. Maybe if you go to mom and dad's kitchen, with their permission, you can borrow their cutting board. A cutting board that they use to cut vegetables and stuff for dinner. I know, vegetables. Maybe that they used to cut like cake. They used to cut cake with it. We like cake. Go check that out. Ask mom and dad if you can borrow a cutting board to use as your ramp of science. Bet you they'll let you borrow it. So, and the last but not least thing you're going to need is something to measure with. I have a meter stick, and it would be awesome if you have one of these, but not a lot of people have measuring sticks in their home. But I bet you that somebody has a toolbox around you, and you have a tape measure. Tape measure is that thing that you have, and you pull it out, and it looks really cool. So maybe you have a tape measure in your house. If you do have a meter stick, fantastic. Maybe if you have a regular ruler that you use at school, fantastic, use that. But all you need, let's cover that one more time, books, writing utensil of science, ball, tape, some sort of ramp, I would suggest a cutting board, and a measuring utensil. Make sure you have all these things so then you can be successful in conducting our experiments. Oh my goodness, space rangers and scientists. I almost forgot. You need a stopwatch of some kind. Maybe if you borrow mom and dad's phone, there's a stopwatch on their phone that you could easily use. But that's how we're going to fill in our time column. Oh, Miss Gurley completely forgot. We need a stopwatch of science. You need to use this so you can record how fast or slow a ball is going to roll. So first thing you're gonna do, I have this big old stack of books here. I'm gonna cut this stack of books in half, maybe a little less. I'll put those down here. Then, so this is shorter. We talked about the height, remember? That was the important word in our question of science. Height. So height is the up and down of something. I want to make a shorter stack at first. That's just me personally. Maybe you want to start with the highest stack in the world. I would wait. I would start with the shorter stack and then get higher because then it gets more exciting. So what you're going to do, you move these things. I don't need these things yet. What I need first is a stack of books. I'm going to start with a smaller stack of books. Cutting board, piece of wood, whatever it is. Mine's a little piece of wood that I found in my garage. And you are going to lean it against. So there's a slight incline. You guys see that? See that space under here? I can put my hand in. So there's a space. So you have a slight ramp, okay? Doesn't matter how long your ramp is, but I do want you to record how tall it is in just a second. You are going to take your tape of science and you are going to get a little bit of it and you are going to tape your ramp to your table. Just so it doesn't slide. That's all you need the tape for. Done. No more tape needed. All right. So now the important part. We have to observe a part of our experiment here. I want you to use your meter stick or your tape measure or your ruler, whatever you're using, and I need you to measure the what? Starts with an H. It's right above the height. Good. The height of my ramp. So I'm going to take my meter stick of science and I am going to put the bottom part right on the bottom edge and I am going to see how tall my ramp is. My ramp is about 7 centimeters. 7 centimeters. How am I going to remember that? 7 centimeters. I can write it down. How do I write it down? With my writing utensil of science. Height of ramp. I'm going to put in that first one. I'm going to put a 1 here so I know it was my first try. We're going to try it total 3 times. So my first ramp height was 7 centimeters. So what do I put in time? We'll get there. So my first try, I wrote it down. My height of my ramp is 7 centimeters. So I am going to take my time stopper of science and my ball. Should I put my ball down here? Does that look like it's going to do anything? I mean, it's rolling around a little bit. But what if I put it up here? Oh, interesting. Let's remind ourselves what our scientific question of knowledge is. How does the height affect an object's energy? The energy we are going to be focusing on today is how fast this ball gets from point A to point B on our ramp. I want it to go from the top to the bottom. I want to know how fast it does that. So I am going to time it and we are going to record it on our table of knowledge. So try number 1, the moment you've been waiting for. So I'm going to clear it. Stop. Clear. All right. I'm gonna take it. Are we ready? I'm excited. 3, 2, 1, go. Stop. 1.87 seconds. Where'd my ball go? I gotta go get my ball. Got it. All right. 1.87 seconds. Wow. Okay, so be careful not to clear your stopwatch before you've written it down in your table of science. So 1.87 seconds is a unit of, nailed it, time. I'm going to write it down. What was it again? 1.87 seconds. 1.87 seconds. All right. Now, what do we think we're going to do next? You're right. We are going to make it taller. We're going to make it taller. Oh my gosh, Miss Gurley, you're crazy. You'll make it taller. All right. I'm going to take a few more books. Ooh, we see that Magic Tree House book? What? We're going to take a few more books, and I am going to put it underneath my stack of books. Ooh, okay. We have a higher ramp now. What do I do? Is it 7 centimeters anymore? Is it 7 centimeters tall? No, it is higher. So we need to take our measuring stick of science, whatever you've got, use it and measure. Put it at the bottom to the top. Mine is about 13 centimeters tall, almost double the last ramp. So my second try is going to be 13 centimeters tall. Now, time to conduct try number 2. Clearing that last measurement. Are we ready? Try number 2. 3, 2, 1, go. 1.62. Oh, lightning speed. I'm gonna write it down. 1.62. 1.62 seconds. Oh my gosh, okay. Now we need to look at, is that time, is 1.87 greater than or less than 1.62? I know you guys have been learning about greater than and less than in math. I know it because I'm teaching it to you. Shh, science, Miss Gurley, is the same as math, Miss Gurley, it's a secret. Okay, so 1.87 seconds. I think in my science brain, that number is bigger than this number. Okay, so right now I'm observing that this ramp was taller and this time was faster. So that's great. So that goes with my prediction. But because we are scientists, we need to absolutely confirm our data. Professional scientists will do experiments over and over and over and over again so they can confirm their predictions about life. They can't give us absolute predictions until they have tested things over and over and over again to make sure that they are absolutely correct, because they don't want to be wrong. And as scientists, we never want to be wrong because we have the proof, we have the evidence, we have the predictions. We are going to do it one more time. Got my ball of science. Wait, no. I can't just do that. We already did this one, right? What am I missing? What's that step? What's step 1? I gotta add more books. All right. Oh my gosh. We have a full stack of books underneath my ramp. Oh, this is a tall ramp, guys. I don't know if I can handle it. Okay. Next step, number 2. I have to measure my ramp of science. All right. Get it to the bottom. Get it to the top. What do we got? Oh, what do we got? About 18 centimeters. So we only went up a few centimeters. But let's see if that'll make a difference. Let's find out. We gotta record it. This is try number 3. Our last try. 18 centimeters. All right, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Space Rangers of all ages. Ooh. Space Rangers of all ages. Get ready with your stopwatch of science. Now, ball at the top. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh my God. Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna take my ramp down so you guys can see what I'm looking at here. Can you see? Okay, I need scientific writing utensil. Okay, that was a whole 1.37 seconds. It was even faster. I almost missed it. It was so fast. So now we've conducted our experiment. We've predicted. We have our scientific question of knowledge. Now this last part. So we conducted our experiment. We predicted the future. Now I want to interpret and conclude. What's that word interpret mean? Maybe we've heard it before in our scientific lessons. I'm gonna tell you, interpret, but I want you to remember this. Keep this in your scientific brain, write it down, because we are gonna use this word every episode with every single experiment we do. We are going to interpret our data. We're gonna study it, we're going to interpret it and conclude. So it looks like every time I made my ramp taller, my ball went faster. And I bet you could try this at home. If I made my ramp smaller, my ball would go slower. So my data says the taller my ramp was, the faster the ball went. Wow. My conclusion matches my prediction. Wow, so I predicted the future. Did you predict the future? And it's absolutely okay if you did not predict the future. That is totally fine. So, if you didn't predict the future, that's totally fine. You just need to know that your conclusion is different than your prediction. And now, you are scientists who have concluded your first experiment of the 4th grade. Do we feel like smart 4th graders? Because we should. Next time, we're going to learn some more about energy. I will see you in our next lesson with Let's Get Sciency with Miss Gurley. Go do your homework.